Hey there. If you've come to Patreon, you probably already know our content and that we like to make adventure videos. One thing that we're not very good at is scripted videos, which is what you're about to watch.
We have to like come up. We have a lot of information to convey, man. And
we got a nice little thing right here that tells us what we're trying to get across about Patreon. And this video is just going to show straight talk about our perspective on Patreon and the what, why, and how of Patreon for you. So what is Patreon?
So Patreon is a crowdfunding platform that we can use to help us fund our videos. And a lot of different people use it for a lot of different ways. And we've been in the Patreon game since like the beginning of Patreon, basically. As soon as it came up, we were like, oh wow, that's a really good way that could really help us actually continue to produce the content that we really enjoy sharing and the content that people seem to be enjoy watching.
Yeah.
So when it popped up, I was like, we jumped on it, and this was years ago. And since then, it's been like awesome for us. And the reason that we need to use Patreon is because the costs of our videos are quite high. Not like astronomically, but when you think about what we're creating videos that are essentially like travel documentaries, and we're doing long form travel documentaries and stuff. And this is not like the type of video that's like we're able to just produce at home or something. Like this is the thing where we go out and we shoot videos and stuff. So we have these costs that are associated with the traveling, and we have these costs that are associated with the time and the planning and all of that stuff. And there's also a tremendous amount of time that goes into it. Enough time goes into the editing process behind these longer videos that we make that I basically can't have a full-time job at the same time. This works out to be my full-time job. It's like when you see a video that's like 45 minutes or whatever, that took me more than a week to produce. When you go from the very beginning of the video, shooting it all the way through a complete piece on YouTube with all the proper YouTube stuff and tags and all the social media and like all these other things that go into the video. It's a tremendous amount of time to put into it. So that's why we decided to start the Patreon, is because we wanted to keep making the videos, and the only way that we could afford to keep making the videos is if we got support outside of YouTube, because YouTube, while they do give us ad revenue, it is super, super, super unreliable. Like it just bounces around all the time.
Not only that, they can demonetize anything that they want to.
And that's a new thing they started doing.
And if somebody decides that they don't like us, poof, we're gone.
Yeah, you mean like YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a really unreliable place, so it's best to just have your eggs in different baskets. And even when it's all going super good with YouTube's like the YouTube ecosystem, like even at the best, when we get a view on YouTube and it pushes an ad out and like we see the revenue return from that, it's like a fraction of a penny per view. So, I mean, our channel, like if you look at it, you're like, oh, they've got 10 million views in all their videos, so they must have a lot of money from it. But that's really, really not true. Like if all we were relying on was the YouTube money that we get from the ad revenue, we would be so far underwater on this project. Like it wouldn't even like, it wouldn't be
This is part of that straight talk. This is straight talk.
Yeah, and I think that it can be a little uncomfortable to talk about money that frankly, but like that's what this is. That's what the Patreon thing is. It's a way for us to keep making videos, and if people are enjoying them,
and it's a way for you to contribute and make better videos.
Yeah,
point blank. That's where the money goes from you to better videos.
Yeah, and that is exactly how it works. And so I guess we should talk about like how we use Patreon and what our schedule is like and everything. Essentially what we do within a month, the way my schedule works is I have 2 long form videos a month that I like to put up. So when I say long form videos, it's a little bit loose on what that means, but I aim for at least a 30-minute video, and then I try to keep it under an hour, because I think once you get past that hour point, that it gets a bit much for people to watch. I do sometimes get a little bit like loose of that, and it'll end up being an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. But that's really my goal. It's somewhere in between 30 minutes and an hour. So those 2 long form videos per month are the 2 videos that we'll use the phrase Patreon supported. So those are the videos that people that are supporting us on Patreon are paying for. In addition to that, all the other weeks within the month, I try to put up a shorter video that is cheaper to produce, much quicker for me to edit. And those are not Patreon supported videos. They're just on YouTube. And the reason...
we should even say Patreon supported means that you would be charged for this.
Charged. That's the definition of that.
It's not just that it's Patreon supported. Like money that comes from Patreon is going to all of those videos. But
But the ones that people are charged for...
There'll be two charges a month.
But you're right. The other videos are, the money we're getting from Patreon are being applied to those videos for the production. The reason that we want to produce shorter videos as well is because we're juggling all these balls, and one of the balls is keeping the YouTube algorithm robots happy, and they don't really like long videos. So to try to get more people interested in our channel and to have people get interested in clicking on our videos, we make shorter videos sometimes as well to try to like keep all these juggled balls in the air. So that's the explanation for it. Also because it's possible for me to make these shorter videos. I have time to squeeze those in, but I do not have the capability really to output an hour-long video every single week.
Yeah.
Because once you wind in weeks where we have to go and shoot and planning and all those other things, like it just becomes impossible. So that is our goal. 2 long-form videos, and then every other week it's filled up with short videos, and periodically a week gets missed. It's not very often. I usually have so much content I try to push something out, but there have been times where because we get sick or something and you need downtime or something for whatever reason. So that's basically how our schedule works. So if you do decide to become a patron, then you basically are being looked at. 2 videos per month are billed for, and then the other ones are not. So just to be clear on that, I think some people see it and they're like, oh, they're billing out these videos that are like 5 minutes of him eating a piece of sushi. That's not what's going on. The video has to have value to itself for me to like ask people to pay for it. I would feel like such a slime ball to do something like that, just to push out like a bill on somebody for something that took me not much time or money or effort.
I ate a cheeseburger.
Yeah. That is totally not. That's totally not what we're in for. We're in for the videos that are like the big productions, essentially. And so that is how Patreon benefits us, and the money that people are giving through the Patreon system and everything works for us, and how we use it to keep making more videos and better videos and keep expanding our Kyde and Eric videography. But the flip side of Patreon that's kind of fun is that we get to do extra things for people who are supporting us.
I get to talk about the benefits. Yay! So how does Patreon benefit you? Well, there are different tiers that you can join here in Patreon, and I'm going to go over them so you kind of know what they are, and I'm going to give some straight talk about how it benefits us and how this works a little bit. So if you join the $1 ranking, that means that you get to see videos before we put them onto YouTube.
By at least 3 days.
3 days.
Sometimes it's even more than that, depending on my upload schedule. Basically, as soon as I get them online, I put them on Patreon, like immediately. And then sometimes that can be a week or 2 or whatever in advance. But it's a minimum of 3 days before they go live to the rest of the world.
So you're getting a little sneak peek on what we're putting on there before anybody on YouTube gets to see it. You're also getting access to our Patreon feed, and you're getting kind of priority in our eyes as to communication. If something happens on Patreon, we're getting notifications.
Yeah, it goes to our email.
We are not getting notifications about what's happening on the YouTube feed for all of our videos.
Because it would be a waterfall of
Facebook.
info.
It's just a bombardment over there. But when we see that something happens on Patreon, we're like, oh, that's very important.
I mean, we really do go. I read every comment on YouTube, but it's like a matter of sometimes it's not, I don't have the ability to reply to everything and stuff. But on Patreon, it's funneled down to a group of people that know us really well and are interested in us, and it's kind of our safe space.
Yeah, and it's where we value that feedback.
Yeah, exactly. I value everybody's feedback most of the time as well. But I mean, with the Patreon people, they know us well enough. They respect what we're doing, and it means a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a good community to have.
That's
and it's
straight
really
talk.
Cool.
That's
straight
more
talk.
straight talk.
Yeah.
So that's $1. The next step up is the $3, and a little bit of
it contains the $1 stuff.
Yeah, so everything will fall back. So you'll get all the $1 things, and in the $3, you get, what is it?
Discussion videos.
Discussion videos.
So in that schedule where we do 2 videos per month, those long videos, those 2 videos, we also do a video discussion about that video.
It will never be on YouTube. It's only available on
Yeah, it's just a
Patreon for
Patreon
people
thing.
who are in the $3 and up group. So this is like special stuff that nobody else gets to see. We're telling like things that happen in the like little VIP behind the scenes stuff.
And we also in those do like a Q&A. We take some questions from people from Patreon and we just answer them. So about half of the discussion video, and they usually fall about a half an hour long.
Yeah.
About half of the discussion video is about the video that it's associated with.
A little commentary type
Yeah.
thing.
And then the other half is just like random questions that we've taken from other people on Patreon. And that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and the straight talk about the $3 level is that more is coming to us, to the videos, percentage-wise. In the $1 tier, a lot of it is going to credit card charges and to Patreon. We see
like 30% of $1. It's
30% of $1.
It's bad, and to be honest with you.
Once you get up to the $3, we're actually seeing some of that money.
Yeah, it turns into like $2.50 of it or something. So we see a much more larger return from people's investment in our videos at the $3 point than we do at the $1 point. So if you're going to get involved, I would really say, like, if you're really interested in getting money to us so that we can make more videos, a $3 point is like the best place to start.
Yeah.
And that's why I put the discussion videos at the $3 point, because I think that's a pretty like valuable return and something that a lot of people would be interested in, and hopefully that would be something that people see value in enough to get to that point. And if you can't, and if you're doing the $1 thing, then it's absolutely appreciated. But I just want to make sure that it's clear and there's some straight talk about the finances that happen right there at that $3 point.
Yeah, there's a little bit of background on how the Patreon monies work in that way, because we didn't think about that until we started seeing how it actually works.
Yeah.
So then you step up to the $5, and that is where we will put your name in a huge thank you on all of our Patreon supported videos. So those longer form videos.
You'll see a bunch of name credits roll at the end. That's what that is. That's the people that are supporting us at $5 and above. And of course, they also get access to the videos and also get the early access. So it all rolls back like that.
Rolling back. And then we get to the $15, and that is kind of like the one thing that I really like. It is the postcard club, and essentially you'll receive a postcard every month. It will be a handwritten postcard by us, and
usually you, to be honest.
You're gonna sign your name.
Yeah, I do. I sign my name, but Katie does a lot of the work.
He does a lot of the work when communicating with people through social media and stuff like that, and I do I do postcards, and that's the job that I love to do, is like just to write out your address and a little note.
It's fun to do that, but it's also fun when we're on trips to find the postcards.
Yeah.
We go, oh, these would be really good for the postcard club, and then we get to go up to somebody and be like, do you have 50 of these? And it's really fun to get to do that.
Yeah. So those are the ones that we're doing, 1, 3, 5, and 15.
And we have changed things in the past, but we have found that this setup is like really good for us. We find it to be, it fits within our time schedule, that we're able to make things, and it fits within like all the comfortabilities and everything.
And I get to do postcards, and that's really all that matters. Little side note about me: when I was little, I used to do like my mom's Christmas cards. So this is like Christmas every month. Seriously. So it's something that I really do like to do. But one thing that we want to make clear is that our videos are always going to be free on YouTube.
On YouTube.
They'll always be free for everyone to see, enjoy, and whatnot. Patreon is the avenue where people can contribute to making better videos. That is the avenue where people who are really enjoying the content that we're doing and putting out there, they can make it even better and get more involved. So that's why we're in this avenue, and that's why.
And to be completely real talk blunt, if we didn't have Patreon right now, this wouldn't be happening basically. For 2 years I worked and I also did video stuff at the rate that we're doing it at now, and it was killing me. Like I could not do it. It was too much work. Lack of sleep, never having any free time at all, ever. It was bad. So once Patreon happened and it got that alleviation a little bit, it made everything so much better. And I'm hoping that we can just keep continuing with this and keep working on this and keep making videos that people enjoy and getting to explore and show everybody the world through our lens. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of fun.
And hopefully you'll be a part of it.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.